In this week's double Torah portion of Tazria Mitzora, we learn about this Mitzora, someone who comes down with the skin deformation of Tzara'as, which some people explain as leprosy, but it's really not leprosy, it's a different skin deformation that would appear on someone who sinned for different sins, but mainly the sin of slander, Lashon Hara, gossip. And he would get the skin deformation, he'd have to go to the high priest, and he'd have to determine whether or not it was in fact Tzara'as, this special skin disease that comes to this person. And if it was determined it was, he'd have to go into solitude and he'd have to wait for it to heal. And it says, Badad Yeshev, you have to sit by himself. And there's a whole process that you have to go through and come back and check to the high priest again, make sure it was all good. But it was a very painful thing. The Talmud says that there are 4 people that are considered as if they are dead in this world. One of them was listed, is the Mitzora, this person with the skin disease. And the question is, why is he considered like he's dead? Now, I understand someone who goes through pain and suffering is a very hard thing to go through. And it's a lot of challenges in life when you have that. But we know that being alive and suffering is greater than being dead, because when you're alive and suffering, at least you could do some mitzvot in this world, which gives us eternity in the world to come. Versus if we're not alive, what we can no longer accomplish, that's much worse. So why is he considered as if he's dead? So there's a fascinating explanation given by Chaim Shmulevitz, who says the following. He says that because when a person goes away in that time period, God gave him this punishment because by speaking slander, you're tearing people apart and you're ruining relationships and ruining people's lives. So you have to be alone without any people. But at that time, when you're there, you can't be involved in someone else's life. You can't give. You're only to yourself. God created us in his image. God is a meitiv. He gives. And therefore, we are hardwired and built that we're only happy and feel satisfied when we're giving to someone else, when we're part of someone else's life. And I think this lesson is so powerful because sometimes when we give charity or we do some help for someone, or we listen to someone and help give them emotional support, we think, wow, we're doing them a great service. But the reality is that by doing that, we are happy. It makes us feel good. And we may not know that on a conscious level, we may not feel it on a conscious level, but we have to understand that is what's making us happy. And I think by doing so, by involving ourselves, sometimes it's hard to do chesed, to do kindness. But if we have to use any means necessary to try to convince ourselves to help, altruistically to help out, that would be the best thing. But to realize that, I should involve myself and help someone else out, because even selfishly, it'll make me feel better. And by doing so, we'll obviously create a lot of shalom and peace amongst everyone. And it'd be a beautiful thing. I'd like to wish everyone a Shabbat Shalom and a wonderful day.